Hi guys, Guillermo is here. Welcome back to the Revit architectural training tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn how to calculate areas using the Room tool. Let's begin. In this chapter, we will focus on rooms. Before we start creating rooms, we need to set the parameters to compute the area and volume. To access these settings, click on the small black triangle next to the panel name Room and Area. From the drop-down menu, choose Area Computations. The first tab on the panel that appears deals with computations. You can choose whether Revit calculates both areas and volumes, or just the plan areas of the room objects. Unless you specifically require the room volumes to be calculated, I strongly recommend you set this to areas only. You can also set where room area is measured from. You can select one of the four methods to define the room and its area. The default setting is at the wall finish, so this is calculating true usable floor areas in your design. Now go to the Area Schemes tab. You can add multiple area schemes. By default, Revit creates two area schemes: gross building and rentable. Gross building is the total constructed area of a building. Rentable is the area measurements based on the standard method for measuring floor area in office buildings. You cannot edit or delete the gross building area scheme. The rentable area scheme is modifiable. To add Revit rooms, switch to the Architecture menu tab, Room and Area panel, Room icon. Now, all we need to do is click inside of an enclosed space to create a room. Let's take a look at the room object in detail. The room reference crosshair. The intersection of the two lines represents where Revit is taking as the center of the room object. Room tag. This is a text annotation that is pulling specific data from the room object and displaying it in the view. This tag displays the room number, room name and its area. Room boundary line. With the room selected, we can see the boundary of the room object, shown in a light blue line. I'm going to add more room objects to the project. Notice how Revit automatically designates an incremental room number to each room object placed. A room number is designated as soon as you click to place a room. If you are just hovering over your plan, Revit displays a question mark for the room number. Now that we've added some rooms to our model, let's see what kind of data can be stored against them. Select a room and take a look at its properties in the Property palette. Note that Revit rooms are true 3D objects. They need a reference level, so Revit knows how high to place them in the model. Also, note how some of the properties are grayed out. These are read-only properties such as the room's area, perimeter length, volume, etc. In the Identity Data group of properties, you can change the room name and room number. Please note that room numbers need to be unique. Room names may be repeated. When you are adding rooms to your model, you also have many options on the options bar. You can set the height for your room object. Remember, Revit rooms are 3D objects and have a volume. What if you want to create rooms in an open plan area? For example, you need to differentiate between the reception and an office area and a large open plan. In this scenario, you would use a room separator. Room separators are simply special lines that act as room bounding elements. Select Room Separator from the Room and Area panel and you will be presented with the standard draw palette. Now click a start point for your room separation line and ensure this starts at a point on the existing wall. Then move your cursor down until you find a point on the opposite wall. Click to define the endpoint of your room separation line. Once you have added your room separator, you can now use the Room tool to add Revit rooms to each side of the line. Revit rooms allow you to capture a wealth of information relating to the spaces you create in your model. Combined with schedules, it is easy to document the various areas of your design. Once you have all your rooms placed, you can add a room legend to your view. Select the Annotate tab, Color Fill panel, and select Color Fill Legend. Now just place the legend in the drawing area. Revit by default assigns colors for each name you entered. If you want to edit them, select the room legend and then click Edit Scheme. The Edit Color Scheme window opens. You can now adjust the colors.